Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering writing a book about your life. Writing a book is such a powerful process. If you click this video, you probably hit some roadblocks. I'm sure you're a little bit discouraged by the journey ahead. And as you proceed, there are two important things that you need to keep in mind when writing your book. So stay tuned to learn what they are. By the end of this video, you will learn the impact of writing a book, the importance of outside research and interviews, and the need to be kind to yourself during the writing process. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a resource I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. Book writing is such a powerful process. It's so compelling and so interesting and so meaningful to be able to take your story and package it, to bring it forward in such a neat way and share it with the world, and have people learn from your story and, be able to yourself appreciate it, to be able to look back fondly, that other people are learning from your journey and better off in their life because of you bringing your story forward. It's so powerful and it's so meaningful. I think back to when I was in college and I was working for the school newspaper, and I remember at the beginning of the semester and beginning of meetings, our advisor would write something on the board, and it was information equals knowledge equals power. And I think that resonates. I think that's such a strong thing. You think about information in your book is knowledge for other people. It's empowering them, but it's also empowering you to own your story, to be able to share with anybody, to be able to recognize the key elements that are going to help other people. But information equals knowledge and equals power. All these things work together. But writing a book is challenging. It's a struggle. It's difficult to go through all these memories and perspectives and all the stories that you have within yourself and put them down on the page. I think back to some of the people I've worked with as a ghostwriter, and they have these harrowing accounts of the challenges they faced in life. It's one thing to live it. It's another thing to get past it. It's another thing entirely to recall it, to put it down on the page, to have it dissected and picked apart. Does this story fit? Is this story relevant? Does this story work within the book? When you're sharing all these things and just pouring your heart out onto the page, hoping that other people are going to learn something from it. So it is a challenge. It is a struggle. But at the same time, it's freeing. It's so freeing to write your book. It's so freeing to let go of these stories. It's so freeing to feel ownership over them, when you maybe didn't before. It's so freeing to connect the dots and find closure and healing through your story and be able to move forward with new sense of purpose and new clarity. So all these things work together, but it's a transformative process. Really writing a book and digging deep on it is a transformative process. At the same time, it's not enough just to regurgitate your ideas onto the page and be done with it. There's research, there's interviews, there's things that you can do to bulk up your story, to really define it, to really make sure that it's as strong as possible. Some of the best books I've worked on involved people's stories intertwined with research. And it's not always the research coming through on the page. It's that iceberg that's 7/8 underwater. It's the thing that's providing context for yourself, providing context for your story. I love doing ancestry research, for example. So I will go to ancestry.com or newspapers.com and fill in gaps, when I'm working with somebody. Fill in the gaps of their story. Fill in the gaps of the pieces that we don't quite know. This person was born on this date. They died on this date. What happened in between? Some of those things are in public records. Some of them aren't. Some of them are in personal stories, family histories. So it's really worth exploring everything you can, gathering all the information to get the best possible outcome, to triangulate these stories, because you yourself may be an unreliable narrator. You yourself may get things wrong. We forget. Our brain does funny things when memory happens. We remember things differently than other people do. We saw things at a different perspective than they did. So it can be really helpful to talk to other people, to get other stories and perspectives, and to round out our own understandings and make sure that things really line up. I think about a project I'm working on with an author named Emma. Her story's amazing. Her story's really powerful, and I'm really proud of her for bringing her story forward. And there's just elements of her story that she wasn't as clear on. And then we talked to her mom and filled in gaps. And now the stories are stronger because of that. We had that secondary source and it filled it out. I think a lot of times when we think about our own story, we think about the fact that we're telling it, but there's other people that can help us tell it in a more forceful way, in a better way, and a more authoritative way. So much of the book world is focused on external validation. It's focused on reviews and number of engagements. It's focused on book sales. It's focused on other people receiving the book fondly, and it's based on other people telling us whether a story matters, especially if you're pursuing a traditional book publishing deal. You have all these literary agents and publishers saying, oh, I don't think this is going to work for us. I don't think this is commercially viable. I don't think we can make money off of this book. Our focus is narrowed. We don't really represent books like this anymore. It's so easy to get discouraged, and it's so easy to get down on yourself during the writing process, just because of how challenging book writing is, how scary it is to put your message out there into the world and wonder what's going to come back, and just the fears and doubts and insecurities we face. We feel like it needs to be perfect in order to come forward, or we feel like we're not good enough, or we feel like our story isn't worth telling. It's so easy to go down these rabbit holes of discouragement and frustration, during the writing process, because everything's focused on, is this good enough? Beta reader feedback. What do they think? Do they hate it or love it? It goes on and on like that endlessly. So when you're writing your book, there's two things I really want you to keep in mind and to express to yourself, and those are patience and kindness. I want you to be kind to yourself, and I want you to be patient with yourself. Some of the stories in your book, you might not be ready to confront yet. It may take you a couple months. It may take you a little while to get into a place of, yes, I can finally confront this. It could take you a little while to step into the power of your story. So there's all these elements at play. Patience is so important. It's not just a Guns N' Roses song. It's something that you can express for yourself every day when you're doing the writing. It's so easy to get discouraged and down. It's so easy to want to give up. It's so easy to just really wonder if you're good enough. And I want you to get past that. I want you to be kind to yourself, and I want you to just understand that it's hard for everybody. This process is really hard, and it's going to challenge you. And you just need to stick with it, and you need to be kind to yourself. And if you can do that, good things are going to keep happening. But it just requires you to cross that bridge and recognize that it's all just not going to lock into place in the schedule that you think it will. The book writing is going to take longer than you anticipate. The healing is going to take longer than you anticipate. The possibility for the book going bigger, and getting a wider audience is going to take time. All this stuff takes time and effort and determination. And you're going to face those struggles all along the way. Every single turn, it's another piece of discouragement. But be empowered. Don't be discouraged, be empowered. Just be kind to yourself. One of the ways that you can build momentum with your book is by focusing on daily and weekly progress. How much progress are you making on a consistent basis? Make good writing habits. Make progress every single day if you can. Whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's 20 minutes. Instead of thinking about the perfect time to write, think about the time to write is now. Think about this being the moment. Focus your energy, block out distractions, put your phone away, and write, and write, and write, and write. And if you can keep doing that and you can build good habits, you're going to be able to get to the finish line. You're going to be able to finish your book. It just requires you to stick with it consistently. You can have so much momentum. And a lot of times this happens with people with like writing courses or whatever else. They start the course, they have this momentum, then the course ends, then they're left in the dark. They're like, I don't know what to do. It's a struggle. It's a struggle to keep going. You need to have this thing working in your favor, and you need to be building that momentum day by day by day to keep going. See the wins, see the progress, see the success, and you just want to keep building on it. One chapter's done, you start the next chapter, and then the next, and then the next. Next thing you know, you're halfway done with the book. It's amazing. It's amazing, but it requires habits, good habits. And it requires you to stick with it. There's so many times during the writing process that you're going to want to give up and put the book aside. So you need to stick with it and keep going. And one of the ways you can do that is really recognizing what the outcomes are for you. What do you want to accomplish through this book? Do you want to get speaking engagements? Do you want to take the next step as a business leader? Whatever the case may be, Whether it's a legacy project, whether it's a bucket list item, you need to see what that is, because that's going to help you to keep going as you face these challenges and doubts. You need to stick with it and keep going, because this book is worth it. And you getting on the opposite side of this book and sharing it with the world is worth it. It could change your life. It could change other people's lives. You know, I've had projects I've worked on, you know, that have taken people back from the brink. I mean, I can't even adequately talk about what that means to help people in their time of need, you know, through writing, through book writing. I mean, come on, it's just incredible. It's incredible to see that, and it's incredible to be a part of that, you know, and it's a great opportunity to be able to help people wherever they are, you know, because you don't know where these people are going to meet you. You're going to have readers from multiple different places and vantage points, you know, so there's an opportunity there to speak to that one person and to impact them and to help them and put them in the right direction. And, you know, if you don't stick with it, you're not going to see that happen. You're not going to see the outcomes. You're not going to see the results. So stick with it. Stick with it, stick with it, and good things can happen. If you want to learn more about writing a book about your life, I have the perfect course for you. It's my Good Book Accountability course. I developed it for authors just like you who are struggling, you know, who need that little bit of help, that little bit of guidance, of support, you know, weekly accountability meetups just to keep going. So if you're writing your book and you're hitting those stumble points and you just need a little bit of support, head to my website. It's goodbookmastery.com. You can click the link below and check out my accountability course. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.